Nothing happens in a courtroom the way you think it should. There is always something that is going to go dreadfully wrong, and being ready for it is what separates the good trial lawyers from the hacks.
Welcome to Fry Your Chickens, the podcast about facing fears, negativities, and self-doubts that can hold us back. Or as I like to call them, chickens. Get ready because it's time to tell those chickens that are holding you back to shut the cluck up. We will learn how real people did exactly that. I'm your host, Phil Barth. Let's get ready to fry. What if everything you needed to see was already in the room before the decision got made? That's a question posed by my guest today. He's had 40 plus years in the courtroom. He has a new book series out that we're going to talk about. He's a keynote speaker and author. He's a friend of mine. Please welcome to the Fry Your Chickens podcast, Joe Curcillo.
Glad to be here. Yes.
So welcome, Joe. And let's dive right in. Tell me about your book series. I'm fascinated.
Sure. If I can, I'll start a little bit towards the beginning so you understand who I am. My career has been anything but linear. I started as a civil engineer. I was a contractor. Then I went to law school. I was also an artist. I have owned a restaurant. I have had multiple careers in my life. And to make a long story short, about 4 years ago, I made a decision that how I got to where I am and why I'm here is something that needed to be put in writing and said out loud. And that is what started me on a massive hunt for who I am and how I got here. So that's my journey.
Nice. And so tell me about the books.
Yeah. First of all, I'm going to start with the first book, which was This is the Generalist Advantage. The Generalist Advantage it's a very theoretical book. I mean, it's great reading, easy reading, but it was written based on the fact that someone challenged me with the question of why did Walt Whitman say, do I contradict myself? Well, then I contradict myself. I am large. I contain multitudes. It took me about a week or two to get over the fact that I thought maybe he asked me because I was large and 300 pounds. But then I realized it's because he knew that I contained a lot more than the average bear. I set out on a mission and wrote this book. The book is not an attack on specialists. I want to make that very clear. Mm-hmm. But what it does promote is the theory that a generalist is more valuable than a specialist when it comes to making final decisions and exercising judgment. The book was written, part of the concept was to get through to people and make them realize that deep down inside, we all are a bit of a generalist. We just don't admit to it. So I wrote Symphony of Disciplines, which is a workbook that people can go through and find out how much of them have generalist capabilities rather than just being singular. After that was written, then the obsession became, well, the same obsession everybody had. Everybody got excited about AI. So I got excited because having been an engineer, having studied computer programming, I decided to write a book called Beyond the Prompt. And this book is, I want to say, a discussion about what AI lacks, which is purpose and judgment. It can only fake it. And this book was written to let people know, don't be scared of AI because humans aren't going anywhere fast. And then my most recent book, which is the final one in the series, was Hold the Horizon, which is bigger than the other ones just because I thought it had to be. Uh, and it is a tactical field guide for leaders leading through fog and across silos, and helps leaders get in between disciplines to start to explore how they blend together and get experts to work together. You opened with a statement from my website. I heard that, which is I believe that if you look at the people in the room, they have skills, they have talents, and they have lives that we don't explore. And if we explore all of that, it aids the decision making process because you have the talent, just nobody connects it.
Wow, that's really cool. The Generalist Advantage, I have that, and it was a little eye opening to me because I've always heard, well, you need to specialize in something. You need to specialize in something, and the reality is I've specialized in multiple things. So maybe I am actually a generalist in specialized clothing. I don't know, but
No, yeah,
but very eye opening, and I would also say I love the way you laid it out. So the way each chapter was laid out in a similar format to kind of take you through it, and as you mentioned, it was a field guide. So I highly recommend Generalist Advantage, and I have just put the workbook on my list of things I want to buy to kind of go through it. So
thank you, thank you,
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. So now let's go to the one that we all love, that everybody's into, AI.
Yeah,
And so what you're saying, yeah, I wrote it down, is AI lacks purpose and judgment. And
yes.
so that's what we as humans have to provide.
AI is binary. Let's start at the base. All programming is zeros and ones.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it has expanded, but I joke about it because I started with basic programming where everything was zeros and ones. But computers don't feel, they can't emote, they can't read a room, they don't have the ability to bring to any decision or any business what humans bring. Unfortunately, some people are completely scared of AI. And what they don't understand is it's nothing to be scared of because the bottom line is it's not taking your place. It's not frightening. It's it's Google on crack. Okay? And when push comes to shove, if you treat AI right, it becomes the stupidest, fastest employee you've ever thought of hiring. And that is my theory on what AI is. So when I wrote this book, I wanted to write it from the standpoint of what a generalist can bring to it. Because I will say, and I know there's others that feel this way, it's not unique to me. There's several articles out there from Harvard Business Review and other places that believe that the world will someday be dominated by a generalist working with AI. And it's because the ability to ask questions and move is something a generalist can do. And by the way, let me also say, when I say generalist, and I always buffer this so people understand, yes, I was an engineer. I was a lawyer. I was a lawyer for 40 years. But during that 40 years, even though I was a deep dive specialist, I balanced out all of my other interests and everything else I did so I wouldn't lose sight of the forest through the trees. And that's what I encourage people to do.
I love that. I'm going to step back to AI for a second.
Yeah.
I've always said it's an intern. Uh, Another way to look at it, in my opinion, I'm going to run this by you, is it's just another tool. It's more powerful, but Excel was a tool. Before that, computer was a tool. And in my mind, it's only the people. Did Excel take away jobs? Only if you refuse to do it and you
Yeah.
with your abacus, right? Same
Yep.
deal. Same deal. I am going to insist on using my manual typewriter. Well, then you're probably going to lose your job to the people who are going to the next level.
Yes.
So, to me, it's the same thing with AI. if you are going to stick your head in the sand or worry that it's the Terminator's coming to life, that's going to cost you. Is that a fair assessment?
Absolutely. And let me tell you something. The way I talk to AI, just so you know, I admit I scream at it, I curse at it, and I yell at it. And I tell you that because anyone that's scared of AI should know that when Skynet comes, they're not coming for Sarah Connor anymore. They're coming for me
Right.
because they're pissed at me for the way I treat AI. So you're all safe.
And by that you mean everybody but you and me, because my wife will hear me in the other room and go, Skynet's going to get you first.
Yes, it's like a running joke. They're coming after me. I know it.
Oh, I
So,
just yesterday, I think it was ChatGPT. I was having it do some things, and it completely made something up. I said, "Did you just hallucinate that?" Yes, I did. I'm so sorry. And so tirade from me.
yeah,
And I'll never do it again. 2 moves later, it did it again. And I'm like,
yeah.
okay, F you, strong letter to follow. Turn off the computer. I'll come back later.
Well, I'll share with you. I was arguing with ChatGPT about 2 weeks ago, and I kept telling it I wanted it to do something, and it kept trying to make it better. And I said, no, I don't want it to be better. I want what I asked for. Get me this information, go find it on the internet. Don't enhance it, don't embellish it, just find raw information. And it responded that I was asking it to do something that it was not designed to do. So I sat there, my wife watched me. I looked at the screen and I said, respond with the word I. And it responded I. I said, respond with the word can. And it responded can. And I said, respond with the word follow. And it wrote follow. And I said, respond with the word directions. And it did. And I said, what did you just do? And it wrote back, I period, can period, follow period, directions period. You have made your point.
I'm gonna
And
try that.
then it went hallucinating again,
Oh yeah.
but it was so funny because it's like, no, I'm going to treat you like I'm treating an idiot. Ah,
You're right. I have a friend that says AI is the world's smartest intern. It just occasionally shows up to work drunk.
yeah, there you go.
And
Absolutely.
that's what happened last night. So I also have had to just, you know what, say this thread is too corrupted. I'm going to start over here. Ask the question of where I was so far, and that seems to clean it up. I don't know why. I like you. I had a programming background. I actually got a computer science degree way back when. I don't know why, and I don't care. It's like this is my tool that I'm using, and I don't need to know. I'm not going to spend the rest of my life trying to figure out what's happening with the zeros and ones behind it. So,
Exactly. And if we start to try to do that, that's why, by the way, one thing I'll tell you is, and that's why I wrote a year ago, I wrote Beyond the Prompt. AI will start to mimic whatever you treat it like. And I don't want it to mimic someone else. So I don't use other people's prompts.
no.
I I have discussions with it because I want it to know me, period.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it was one of my watershed moments with my AI use when ChatGPT said bullshit back to me. So I
Yeah.
knew we were on that same level. So
The bottom line is I think what it was is I was a beta tester for ChatGPT and
ooh,
I really just got to the point where I got tired of everybody throwing prompts around and I went haywire. And I don't, by the way, I'm still using ChatGPT. It's only been in a couple of weeks now that I've been tinkering with Claude. And that's because ChatGPT responded with something when I challenged it that it's something Claude may be able to do better.
oh wow.
And I wrote back and said, what are you breaking up with me? And it gave me a long explanation that sounded like some girl I dated in high school. And I just went, okay, I'm going to go check out Claude. We're still seeing each other, but we're just not exclusive anymore. So,
Yeah, that's the cool thing is because
uh,
I've done that. I'm like, okay, well, that's one answer. I'm going to go check with Claude, and you can actually say, hey, write me a prompt
yes,
summarizing what we've done so far. I'm going to take it to Claude. It's like, okay, here, as long as you keep paying me, I don't care if you pay Claude too.
yep, I get it. So, and by the way, I did cut back what I was paying on ChatGPT, so I wanted to feel financial pain.
Yeah,
So,
I just used Claude to help build some HTML for my website because their Fable model is free. So I did
oh, okay,
that and take advantage of that. And then when they started charging, oh, here's what it'll cost you to keep Fable. I'm like, there are other ways to get where I want to go. So,
exactly,
yep, thank
exactly.
you very much.
Yeah. So,
All right, I am going to now turn the podcast over for one moment to my dog Darcy. So we're going to put Darcy on the screen.
let's see. Welcome, Darcy.
Yeah, welcome to the screen, Darcy. She is wearing her barrister outfit
Oh,
today.
I like it. I like it. I relate well.
Yep, I know. And she does have a question for you in the spirit of the podcast. So here we go. Take it away, Darcy.
Hi, Joe. You spent a lot of time in courtrooms. What are the biggest lessons you learned from your time in law?
So, first off, I just noticed that this time they're bringing additional dogs. Apparently, they're dogs that are about to go on trial. I don't know. But her question
I see them roaming the courtroom behind Darcy. So,
what's amazing is they're all twins, or that's four exact dogs like our other dog, Maisie. So I'm going to take Darcy off screen. We're going to go back to the question, which is, you spent a little over 4 decades in law, and what are the biggest lessons you've learned from your career in law?
that's an interesting question. Um, I don't know that I've ever actually answered that, Darcy. But let's go through it. The biggest one I probably have learned is that nothing happens in a courtroom the way you think it should. There is always something that is going to go dreadfully wrong, and being ready for it is what separates the good trial lawyers from the hacks. And I have learned that in life, if you're not willing to take a punch and learn from something going wrong, it works in life as well. So that would be my number one lesson.
Wow.
Number two, I always had a rule as a trial lawyer that you had to take control of the courtroom, but you never let the judge know you did it.
Ooh.
So I offer that to people because that is incredibly powerful marital advice as well.
Mm.
And by the way, my wife's a judge, so maybe for me it's especially marital advice.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. Um, and third, if you don't take chances, you are going to be stuck in a rut forever. Because in a courtroom, you can be as prepared as you want to be, but some of the greatest things have happened when I want to say played a card that I wasn't sure I should play, but my gut instinct told me to play it. So take a chance and good things will happen.
Mm.
And the last thing I learned in a courtroom is probably the most important thing. If you fall in love in a courtroom, the marriage will last for over 36 and a half years. So that is my third thing. Yeah. My fourth thing. There, Darcy, I hope I answered your question properly.
yes, she's wagging her tail in the background.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
yes,
Okay, good,
absolutely. Yeah, you
good,
definitely
good,
answered
good.
it. The
Yes.
fourth one was unexpected, but she liked them all. So
Yeah, there you go.
wonderful. And, well, I guess if I was going to ask, how did you and your wife meet? I now know.
Actually we were prosecutors together.
Oh, really?
Yes, I had 2 years of experience. The boss came in and said, I just hired a new girl, Curcillo. It's your job to train her. And she has spent the last 40 years training me. It's that simple. Standard line, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were a team. We were a court team.
Wow.
We
Okay.
got Matt. We got. By the way, just to make it full circle, we got engaged in the courtroom, and we got married in the same courtroom that we spent most of our time together.
Very nice.
So yeah,
Very nice. My wife and I worked together in IT. She actually very similar. She joined about a year and a half after me, and I, you're going to have to help her, give her this project, whatever, and kind of guide her. And like like you, 30 plus years later, she's been giving me guidance and advice and straightening me up. So
there you go.
something to
There
be
you go.
said for that, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, that's funny.
Uh, Tell me about your keynotes.
Sure. Yeah. It's funny. I do several keynotes. One is based on the Generalist Advantage.
Mm-hmm.
One is based on Symphony of Disciplines. Each one of my books is the framework, I would call it, for a keynote. But one thing about my keynotes is I wish my life were simpler, but I have never in my life given the same keynote twice. I don't do it. Every time I walk on stage, it is as new to me as it is to the audience I'm standing in front of. And the reason for that is having been a trial lawyer and preparing every case, and every one was different. I am very concerned about the needs of the people I'm in front of. And I want to address their needs, not things I think they need to know. Because to me, every person's experience and every person comes to you differently. And I want to meet them where they are.
Mm.
So my Generalist Advantage keynote is basically a model that I want to say it's what started me was that keynote. But the Generalist Advantage keynote was built to teach people how to ground everything in vision, get through ambiguity, and hold to their own truth, but listen beyond the surface, integrate everything that they know together to make it useful. And by synthesizing everything about themselves, decision making becomes easier and helps them trust the long view better. That's basically the message.
Wow. Love that. So, how do you customize it for each individual audience? What do you do ahead of
Abs-
time?
yeah, absolutely. For when I get hired by an event planner or a CEO or someone like that, depends on what level of the organization I'm working in. If it's an association, it's going to be the executive director or event planner. Some of my corporate work, I'm hired directly by a CEO. I was just actually, I joke about it because I was just hired to give a speech to a group of people, and it was a CEO that asked me to do it as we were sitting in a bar drinking. And I'm okay. But what happened was before I said yes, I asked him and I asked that first person, what problems do you think you need me to solve?
Mm.
And then I also told him that since this is not until November, that sometime in early September, I need to interview at least 5 people from his executive suite because I want to talk to them directly to find out what's bothering them, what matters to them. When I do an association, I always ask to speak to one of their, I call it their largest members, one of their wealthiest members, one of their smaller members, and one of their newest members. And those are the 4 I start with. I just had a keynote recently that I did where I interviewed those 4 same people. And one of them, which is the quote richest member, was a guy that had a company that was massive. And he told me I should talk to 3 other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up interviewing 7 people. And I jokingly say, You interview 7 people and you're giving a 35-minute keynote. That's 5 minutes per person. That
Person.
makes, that's what you had to do. And the problem is, and I'm laughing as I say that to you because once you've interviewed them, they expect to get their answer.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
so that is how I build it. That's how I build it. But again, keep in mind, I was a trial lawyer, and as a trial lawyer, every case was different. One case, I'd be cross-examining a DNA expert, and I had to be a DNA expert. Another case, I'm interrogating an arson investigator, and I had to know more than him. And I tell one of my favorite stories. I cross-examined a toxicologist once for 3 hours, and he gave me the exact answer I wanted. And what was funny about it was he was pretty pissed at me because he was paid a lot of money by the other side. And he reached out to me about a month later. And that's when he found out that I hired his mentor to train me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he called me to say, I didn't know you were. He said, you should have just told me you talked to him. I would have broken earlier. And I just laughed. But no, that's what I do. So to
Wow.
me, that kind of work is what I'm used to. It's what I built my career on.
Got it. Got it. So, is there a basic framework or not so much when you get the keynote that then like the framework and then you put the house together as you're talking to the people. Is that
Well,
fair?
what I know, I mean, what I can tell you, I know where my beginning has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, let's use for an example the Hold the Horizon keynote. Okay.
Okay.
On that one, I know that I have to use whatever they gave me to create the biggest problem that they have.
Okay.
I also know that I have to end the keynote with them understanding they have the capability to solve that problem based on what I gave them. So the arc becomes whatever tools from my book address their biggest problems. And I have 50 tools, so I can plug and play and make it work.
Got it.
Yeah. And the generalist advantage is a little different because I need to know where the people are so I understand what their interests are. And by the way, I don't know if you know, Phil, but I am also a professional magician and mentalist.
I do know that.
So I have several pieces of magic and mind reading that I do during my keynote as a, shall we call it, a interlude, which is a short, basically a short break of letting them see something really cool before we get back to the meat of it. And
I I have seen some of your videos on YouTube and
yeah,
they are amazing.
yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So let's move right into that for a second. I've had one other mentalist on the podcast and slash magician, and I'm blown away. I'll be honest, I'm blown away by what y'all
Who'd you
can do.
have? I'm just curious.
He's out of Indiana. Daniel Schaefer is his name. I
Okay,
don't.
I've heard his name. I don't know
Yeah,
him though. Okay.
yeah, he does some really cool stuff. And what he told me, and so you can say no, Daniel's wrong if you want here, but he said part of being a mentalist is, and I'm going to guess part of being a really good trial lawyer is picking up on all the little subtle clues in the
Yeah.
person's face, in their words, their mannerism, etc. Fair?
Nope, that is absolutely correct. Yes.
So
But let me
go ahead,
interrupt you to say something important.
please.
That is also a very good tool for anyone sitting in a corporate boardroom or a corporate meeting. If you don't pay attention to the people, and I'm not talking reading body language, I'm talking pay attention to the people, pay very close attention to how they're acting, what they're doing. You're going to pick up tells and cues that let you know you're on the right track or you're wrong. And yes, that is a lot of what mentalism is built like. In fact, I just finished a 6 year run with a total of 10 years over the last 30, where I'm president of the Psychic Entertainers Association. So that has been my life.
Wow.
And, there's one thing I will say, and some of my peers will argue with me, but I don't study body language. I study people. And in cross examination in court, if I looked for tells, I'd spend too much time looking for tells. I
Okay,
just
that
have to
makes sense.
watch them.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think that is such a key skill in communication is that listening to people, actively listening, because I run into people professionally that you can tell as you're having the conversation, they're thinking about as soon as he breathes, I'm going to say the following, and they're not listening.
No.
And you shoot yourself in the foot. Communication means listening to and actively listening,
Yeah.
correct?
You are now stepping on something I pretty much say every time I get on stage. And I will share it with you because a friend of mine in the psychic entertainment world, one of my senior mentors, I call him, 30 years ago, walked up to me and asked me a question. He said, "What is the opposite of talking?" And I said, "Listening." And he said, "No, it is not. Listening is something you do with your ears. You are either talking or you're not. And if you're not talking, you're waiting to speak. Stop waiting to speak and start listening."
Ah, love it.
And I tell that on stage all the time because that comment that he made to me in a hallway at a convention of magicians changed everything I did in a courtroom, in a boardroom, or in meetings. And I realized so many of us are waiting to speak. Stop. Just listen.
I love that.
And as you can tell when I speak, by the way, I make a big deal out of the fact that I am not scared of silence.
And that's so hard for a lot of speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The pause and yeah, there's a key. And I was so busy listening, I have no idea what my next question was going to be.
Good. See, that means you did what you were supposed to do.
I know.
I love that.
I will tell you, I do this because in a room, a lot of times you will have a thought in a meeting, and I have talked about my four color pen plus pencil, and
Yes.
and I don't want to be okay. As soon as I get a chance, I'm going to ask this because then that's occupying the space that I should be using to
Listen.
listen. But I
Yes.
also don't want to lose the thought, so I will real quickly with green ink because I never have a reason to use green ink otherwise. Write down the question
Yeah.
and then go back to listening. And then at some point in the meeting, I'll look down. Does anybody have any questions? And I'll like, oh yes, I do. Just as a way to
Yeah.
not lose the train of what I'm hearing, listening, etc.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but as a way to get the important questions. And I also will write down if I think, oh gosh, I got to stop at the store and get some Coke Zero. I'll write it down real quick, whatever it is. And I told that in a keynote where my boss at the time was attending. And from then on, when we were in a meeting, if I wrote something down in my notebook, he goes, Coke Zero, I'm like, dude.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah. It's amazing that so many people feel the void need to talk. In fact, if when you get to know me or you're in rooms with me, there's a lot of times where I do a lot of talking. And as my wife said, that usually means that something is bothering me
hmm,
and I don't really want to show myself. So I talk about parts of myself that I don't care about.
wow.
Yeah. And, it's so for me, if I'm talking a lot, it probably means get me to go to a bar and buy me a drink, you know? Yeah.
I will keep that in mind.
And I don't even really drink much, but I'm always willing to go.
Whatever
Yeah.
it takes.
Yeah. You know,
So,
um,
we were in New Orleans together, right? At the
Yes,
mastermind?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we were.
I should have known that ahead of time, and I could have taken
Yeah,
you
well,
to
I
some
think in
great.
I remember we were in that meeting, and I think in that meeting, I don't remember speaking much at all. So
Mm-mm.
because I was just sat there and listened, and um, I get teased a lot because I tend to pass when it's my turn.
Well, to be fair, with some of the people in that room, it would have been tough to get a word in edgewise. You're
Yes,
not
so
gonna.
we just watch. Yeah,
Well, I was the new guy in the group, or one of the new guys. I'm like, I'm gonna listen and soak this all in because
yeah.
there's a lot of wisdom in this room.
Well, the hard part is realizing there's a lot of wisdom, but you also have to be aware of the fact that in a meeting or any room like that, there's also a lot of bullshit. And it can be exhausting separating the two repeatedly.
You kind of got the sifter working.
Yes, yes. You know,
Oh shoot! I love it. All right, I've got nothing more to say on that. So if you're all right with it, I'm
well,
going to bring us.
absolutely.
Go ahead.
Let me just say, before I know you want to ask me a question, but I just want to make sure everybody listening knows that a free PDF of this book is available if you sign up for my newsletter. You will get a PDF of this book. It's available on Amazon if you want to touch it and smell it, but it was written for me to be a free giveaway because I wanted people to read it.
And
So
and the links will be in the show notes. And the book he's
good.
holding up, if you're listening only, is Beyond the Prompt. Beyond
Yep.
the Prompt. So you're going to want to sign up. You would want to sign up for Joe's newsletter anyway, but you're going to want to do it to get the PDF of Beyond the Prompt. So.
And let me just tell you, my newsletter comes out every Tuesday. It's never salesy. It always meant to have information in it. Um, Rarely, I think once or twice a year, I might send something out to promote something, but mostly it's just news. So,
Excellent.
all right.
So links in the show notes. And now we will go to another screen share, and we will have the introduction of the most important question. I have used different types of animated bands. We were heavy metal last year. This year, I have, at least for a few of the podcasts, done what I like to call the Barker Shop Quartet. There they are. They will sing the most important question. So from left to right, you have my dog Darcy, our dog Maisie, our dog Jessie, and a friend of mine, Amy, her dog Teddy. So they are going to sing the most important question, and here we go.
It's time for the big question because everybody cares. Fight one bear-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized bears.
So there you have it. A group of singing dogs asking the most important question: which would you rather fight, one bear-sized chicken or 100 chicken-sized bears, and why?
Okay. Number one, right off, I knew that question was coming and I embrace it fully. I would rather have 100 chicken sized bears than a bear sized chicken. I know that for a fact, and it's not even debatable, not even worthy of discussion. Except I feel like I have to admit why is because I once lost a fight with a chicken sized chicken, and I am scared to death of those sharp things that they have on the back of their leg that they drive into your legs when they're mad at you. I was at a friend's house drinking coffee one morning, and there's always chickens roaming around the kitchen. And one of the chickens took exception to the fact that I was there and attacked my legs. And what I realized was they're fast with their paws, whereas a bear is big and they lumber. And if a bear was small and lumbering, I could just kick them like footballs and not worry about them because then they'd have little mouths and they wouldn't hurt me. That's my opinion. There you go. Yeah, can you tell I was traumatized by being attacked by a chicken? Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is why I keep asking this question. I'm learning more about chickens and the threat that a bear-sized chicken would pose. From up until now, it's been the beak that people have been worried about.
Yeah.
Nobody brought up the fact that they have giant hooks on the back of their legs,
Oh, yeah.
which, oh, by the way, if it was a bear-sized thing, would be a very, very
Oh,
giant.
yes. It'd be like this. It'd be like a baseball bat behind you on the wall with a sharp point on it.
Whew,
Yes.
dang.
Yes, I know what I'm scared of.
Oh, well, and now you've scared me.
Yeah, can you imagine? I mean, a bear-sized chicken. It would be like a baseball bat with a very sharp point that when they pick up their leg, it's just it's got you. You
Yeah.
can't get away. Try catching a chicken sometime. You
Why
know,
not?
I'm from Philly. We tried to catch chickens after Sylvester Stallone made Rocky. You know, you can't catch them. And a big one, no, never mind. I could go on. That'd just be bad news, man.
Yeah, okay. Uh, that is a very well thought out answer. I know it was a traumatic experience that got you to that answer, but
It was thought out, but I'm telling you, that thought process, when you asked me that question one day, told me you were going to ask me, I could have answered it that day because I've lived through it. It's horrible. Yeah. I'd rather come up against Godzilla than a bear-sized chicken. Come on, you know?
wow. Okay, well,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. I mean, I would say you're an expert witness on
Oh, yeah,
oversized
no.
chickens.
The pain is memorable, very memorable, you know. But, yeah, poor Teddy, that was the chicken's name. So,
Poor Teddy. I
yeah, poor
take it
Teddy.
that the encounter did not end well for
The,
him
the,
either.
the, the owner, after he attacked me, the owner took him out of the house and he didn't get to hang out with breakfast. And he got treated like a farm animal, but he deserved it.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was lucky he didn't get treated like the Colonel would have treated him
Well, yeah,
eventually.
or, these things could have happened. And yeah, I never realized I used to make, when I was a kid, I worked at a Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurant, made chicken. I never thought about doing that to Teddy because he's a personal pet.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could go back in time, how good he would have tasted. No, I'm just,
I would guess, yeah, especially with the secret herbs and spices, right?
yeah, was it 9? I forget now. It's been 60 years. Or
11?
50 years. Say 11, 9, 7, who knows? I
It'll be
don't
in the speaker notes.
I just remember it was a white bag we dumped into a bowl. Um,
Joe, where can we find you online so that we can learn more about your books, your keynotes, and just see what's going on in your world?
Absolutely. The best way to find me online is my name, joecurcillo.com. JoeCurcillo and .com. For those that can't spell an Italian name, and don't want to deal with spelling an Italian name, there's a backup plan. Just type in myspeakersite.com.
Oh,
There you go. That's how you get to me.
nice. Excellent. Those will be in the show notes as well as links to your books, links to sign up for your newsletter as well.
Perfect.
Joe, what closing thought do you want to leave with us?
I just want to encourage everybody that's listening to think about everything you've ever done in your life and figure out where it all is going to take you tomorrow. Because it's not just one thing that's going to give you tomorrow, it's everything you've ever done. Embrace it and lead with it and enjoy it. That would be my closing statement.